Alexa, what's today's forecast?
The current weather is 56 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect lots of clouds, with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 53 degrees.
And meanwhile, it was almost 80 yesterday. I think we hit 78 degrees here in Charlotte. Well, what's going on, folks? Forgive me as I have a little bit of a sniffle. The weather has changed considerably since yesterday. It went from 78 degrees to 58 today. I just walked over my eBay orders to the post office, and you could tell it got cold real quick like. But I figure I do a quick live today just to get it out of the way, to say hi to everybody, like always. And Christmas fell on a weird day. It fell on a Thursday, so I'm sure many people are still vacationing or with their family and friends or whatnot. So I might be on here for like an hour at most. I got a big tub of pasta waiting for me on the stove that's left over from yesterday. I made just a little too much, so I got plenty for lunch and supper for tonight. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Oh, what's this? Oh, that was quick. There we go. We can do a live unboxing. I just ordered supplements yesterday. There's no way this could have got here that quick. All right, that's definitely supplements. I just ordered supplements yesterday. Thanks to all of you, of course, for supporting my eBay store. So we're going to do a live unpackaging, I guess. Wow, that was quick. Holy cow. And this is one of the important ones, too. Just like I was telling all of you, R-alpha lipoic acid and benfotiamine. That's for the blood sugar. Wow, that came really, really fast. So this says to use 3 capsules daily. So this is more a month supply, but it's normally I don't get double, or I try not to get combined supplements like this. But this stuff is proven to be pretty good. That's definitely for the blood sugar. Benfotiamine and R-alpha lipoic acid helps to support the myelin sheath of your nerves. It's really good for nerve support. So there you go, folks, just like I was telling you. And Amazon bags you can't just rip. Look at this. Wow, what's in there? It's like there's like steel in there. You can't rip this thing. Holy shit. Oh well. That just showed up at my doorstep. That's one of many supplements that I ordered because of you folks out there who supported my eBay store. I'm very shocked that came as quickly as it did. I just might get another bottle of this because this is only like a month's supply right here. But I mean, I can take them one at a time if I chose to. So if my math is right, so it'd be 200 milligrams and 100 milligrams. But there you go, folks. Was not kidding you. When I said I was going to get supplements, thanks to all of you with my eBay sales, that's one. One of about 15 or 16 bottles I ordered. is I'm running short on a lot of stuff. So let me take a look at this here. Yeah, thank you to everybody who supported my eBay store over the past four days, not including today, who have been buying sports cards and all the other stuff off of me. My goodness, I did really, really good for Christmas. There we go. Oh, it's the same as like any other. Just white. There you go. So that's for my blood sugar. One of several that I've ordered. So thank you, everybody. Well, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm not going to be on here for too long. I just wanted to, chit chat for a little bit about how Christmas went and all that stuff and see how your Christmases went. Mine went surprisingly well for what it was. I had focused a lot of my attention on my family yesterday. I called up my sister, and my mother was staying at my sister's house out in Long Island, so I got to talk to her about a lot of stuff and got a lot of emotions out of the way. And her and I were talking. My little nephew, unfortunately, on my sister's side, got sick with the flu, and now he's a walking contagion, unfortunately. But I got to see, the two little peanuts there on camera, which is cool. So, what's going on, Mila? How you doing? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. Don't forget, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel to grow. Much appreciative of all of you, of course. But yeah, my niece is doing good. My nephew on my sister's side, unfortunately, is spreading the flu around to everybody up there. But at least I got to talk to my family, in Long Island. I was talking to my mother about my dad and a lot of things he shared with me. I finally started to confide it in her, and it was rough. I shed some tears last night, with my mom, what have you. But it's kind of natural when there's a death in the family and the holidays come around. You're not going to be yourself. So this was a real test of willpower and character for me to see if I can get through it. But up until the point where Christmas actually came, I've been really, really lost and emotional. I haven't been able to contain my emotions. But now that Christmas is pretty much, it's going to be Christmas until January 1st. Let's face it. It is the holiday season. It's the year end now, so we're on the cusp of New Year's. But at least I talked to my mom about a lot of stuff, which is cool. I talked to her about, the strange anomaly that happened on Christmas morning at 3 a.m., where all of a sudden my phone was going crazy and my eBay customers were ordering and ordering and ordering like mad. And now here's one of about 15 orders I put in for, supplements, in particular for the nerves, for, blood sugar, proteins, all that kind of stuff, man. So what's going on, Amanda Lewis? How you doing? Welcome aboard. Merry Christmas. I always appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, the like button, and subscribe if you're new here to the channel. This is more a hobbyist channel, but every so often I like to go unplugged just to connect with my audience and all that stuff. So, I talk about toys, Transformers, jerseys, hats, sneakers, baseball cards, all that sort of thing. But every so often, especially since I have an eBay customer base, I like to just go unplugged, to say, hey, man, not some mindless automaton or robot. You know what I mean? I'm just like the rest of you folks out there. But yeah, that was tough yesterday, talking to my mother on the phone. We were, or at least doing the WhatsApp thing. So we were chatting away and talking about life and talking about all sorts of stuff. And, we were talking about my father quite a bit. And after that, I called up my brother in Pennsylvania, and, my niece's surgery did well, surprisingly well. But my Looney Tune brother, as such, decided to dress up as Santa Claus, not anticipating that my nephew on my sister's side was going to get sick. But he did the whole Santa Claus thing anyway, which is cool. So, yeah, my father grew up in Somerset County, in particular Central City, Pennsylvania. And my brother currently lives in the Poconos, and good for them. You know what I mean? But yeah, my brother did the whole Santa Claus thing. My niece is recovering from her surgery to correct her spine, which is cool. That little girl has gone through a lot, man, but she's doing okay. God, thank God. You know what I mean? So everything has turned out better than what I was anticipating, because I was expecting a pretty miserable Christmas this year. Compared to last year, I had people up on my patio. I had people coming in and out of my apartment. I'm not going to get into what happened with my ex again, and that's a whole other story. She's been fighting to get me back like you have no idea, and the answer still is, what do you want? I mean, I'm not even going to get into that subject because it's rough. But anyway, it was a pretty decent Christmas, I have to say. Especially connecting with my family like the way I did on on WhatsApp and on Google Messenger, or whatever you call that, video chatting with my brother and whatnot. At least we got some stuff out of the way, some personal things we were talking about, what have you. But you know what I want to do? Let me turn on my computer and see if I can get YouTube up here so that I can actually put this in the proper perspective. I mean, again, I'm not going to be on here for long, so I'm not going to really make a big deal out of it. But I hope all of your Christmases were good. I mean, it sucks because I'm down here in North Carolina all by myself. And just a lot of things have happened this year that were either out of my control or against my will, or I had nothing to do with, or I've been victimized by stuff like getting sucker punched at my local Walmart. What was that, like a month or 2 months ago, something like that, around Thanksgiving time, I think that happened. So it's just, that's just how it is, unfortunately. So, but, I've made the best of everything, and again, my eBay customers, for what it's worth, really showed up for Christmas. My God, man. So at least I got those, what's going on, Noah? How you doing? I'm sorry if I'm kind of like not paying attention to the chat here. It's just there's a lot to talk about, Well, as far as the eBay stuff is concerned, I already have stuff prepared for 2026. I got new armolopes that I ordered because of this huge order that my eBay customers made. I ordered for armolopes. They're on their way. I got printer ink coming. That's on its way. And I think I already have like 200 or something, maybe even 300 cards prepared to list for calendar year January 2026. So, and I had another decent order last night, which is cool. But those orders are out. Oh, I'm the only one watching now. Well, it's still early. It's 10 minutes after 12 my time on the East Coast. And it's Friday. This is a weird Christmas because I'm sure people took Friday off from work and all that stuff. It was pretty quiet. Even when I went to the post office, there was no line. The Walmart parking lot by me was completely empty. The parking lot behind me on the property is completely empty. So, most likely people are still on vacation and with their families and what have you. So I don't expect a lot of people to be here in the live stream. Usually I get like maybe 20 to 25 viewers at a time. But, I never announce my live streams anyway. I just like to, be spontaneous with that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it was a pretty decent Christmas for what it's worth. I mean, it wasn't what it was last year, unfortunately, but at least I had a Christmas of some form or another. But again, yeah, Christmas morning at 3 a.m., man. You eBay people, thank God, man. You guys are amazing. It really made my Christmas. When I woke up and I saw, the amount of money that was in my eBay account through the eBay app, I'm like, oh my God, like yikes. But those orders are now on their way to their respective customers. I just dropped them off. So I'm just waiting for my computer to boot so I can flip the camera around and you guys can see me in the proper perspective. And again, I don't expect a lot of people to be on, at this time of day, so it's pretty early. That's one thing I said in the beginning of this live stream. I could feel a little bit of cold air coming in. It was 78 degrees yesterday where I live. And now it's 50. Alexa, what's the current temperature?
Right now, it's 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
54 degrees. 78 to 54. That's a big change in temperature, man. That's how people get sick. But that's usually how Charlotte is anyway around this time. It'll be like that until maybe February, and then March is when the temperature just skyrockets. This morning for me, it was 17. Oh, you must be up north someplace. Hey, you're the one from Pennsylvania, I think you said, right? Or am I missing something? Yeah, you're the one in Pennsylvania. Okay, so yeah, you know how it is up in the mountains there. It's all Allegheny Mountains. We got the Allegheny Mountain Range off to the west of us here in Charlotte. So, anytime that there's cold weather or rain, typically western North Carolina will get hit with snow. We haven't seen any snow yet, or at least any significant snow. So, yeah, before, when my dad was alive, he took multiple photos of him back in his hometown when he was younger. And they would literally cut out swaths of snow that were like fucking 14, 15 feet high. Like, it was ridiculous where he lived. He was up, 3,500 feet into the mountains up there. So, but what was happening in his hometown, they mined so much coal out of his hometown that the town is like literally beginning to sink on itself. And they're still trying to find ways to stabilize the ground so that this way, the town doesn't like collapse in on itself. So just give me 1 second here, folks. I'm booting up the computer so that this way I can flip the camera around so you can see me in the proper, which is what I should have done before this live stream. I do this all the time. You know what it is? Because I have sometimes, when I have a lot to say on my mind and I don't really script my live streams or my videos or anything like that, I just kind of waltz into it. Let me also do something quick. I'm not going anywhere. Let me share this live stream. All right, I'm back. But anyway, like I said, it was not such a horrible Christmas that I couldn't enjoy myself a little bit. Yesterday I was watching religious movies. I made myself a big pot of pasta, which I still have a big half a pot of it left for lunch. Yeah, you know why it was lagging? Because I actually took the link and copy and pasted it, someplace else. Because usually I have friends who aren't on YouTube or don't have YouTube accounts. They just watch stuff when they share it, which is cool. So, all right, here we go. Let me do this so I can turn the camera. Almost there, folks. All right, YouTube's being goofy again. Come on. Yeah, all the add-ons that I had for YouTube, I had to reinstall all over again because of the latest Google update, unfortunately. Come on. All right, there we go. Because I want to copy and paste my YouTube store's link into... All right, let me flip this around this way. Okay. Now you can see me in the proper. And now I don't need these. There we go. Okay, now I can do this in the proper. Let me just spin this down a wee bit. Should be good to go. All right. All right, cool. So let me copy and paste my eBay store's link in the chat. And I'm going to pin this thing. So if you guys want to help to support the channel, you can do just that by clicking on that link. And with that being said, also, please don't forget to hit that like button. That like button and subscribing really helps the channel to grow, everybody. So please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right, now I can see a lot better over here. But anyways, let me just do some more adjusting with the camera here a little bit. Prop that up a little more. This way I feel like I'm staring straight on. There we go. Okay. So, where to begin? SD Harrow, what's going on? Yeah, your order is already out the door. I already took care of that before this live stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate the likes, the subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. Again, an update to my eBay customers. If you had orders with me, they are already out the door. I just brought them to the post office before I did this live stream, so you should be getting your orders, within the next couple days, probably sometime next week. Hopefully before the new year. But yeah, anybody that ordered anything off of me, your eBay orders are out the door already. And let me tell you, you ladies and gentlemen killed it with my eBay store. As a matter of fact, this just arrived today. I actually opened it up. Amazon, I'm surprised it showed up in like 24 hours time. There's the bag, so nobody thinks I'm talking smack. That's the Amazon bag right there. So that's one of many supplements that I ordered, thanks to all of you. So, it doesn't go on garbage. Don't forget that, this channel's not monetized. I've been fighting to get the channel monetized for the past 6 months now, and YouTube is dragging their ass monetizing this channel. I have no idea why. So, and I'm not like other YouTubers. At least, I have an eBay store, and you actually get physical, tangible things if you want to support the channel financially. That's why I sell baseball cards. I sold that Dark Dream Design Hellfire glove, which was so fucking hard to let go of. But the problem is that I couldn't really display it properly. No matter how much I tried in my apartment, I just could not display it properly. The thing was too small for me to wear. And I really didn't want to wear it outside because, of the price tag that came with that glove. And I really couldn't, I didn't want to take a risk with it. And it was just sitting in a drawer, unfortunately. I mean, I took it out for Halloween for display in my apartment for my now defunct Halloween party, which never happened. I'm not going to get into the reasons for that. But suffice it to say that I just, as much as I wanted that glove, I had to sacrifice it. So I'm glad it's got a new home. The sports cards are out the door already. Anybody that ordered anything off of me, it's on its way. So you should be getting your orders sometime by next week. Hopefully, if the post office doesn't drag ass. There have been some new things going on with the post office, unfortunately. In my former home in New York, another person was busted stealing postal items and packages. So if your packages get delayed, just be careful of that and be aware of that. Also, the postage on everything is supposed to go up starting January 1st. I saw what the percentages are, but I don't know what the dollars and cents are going to be, so keep an eye out for that as well. I will have more. I think I already have like 200 sports cards prepared for 2026. But, I could list some cards right now. Unfortunately, it'll cost me 35 cents per listing, which means I'm going to have to bump the price. And I did that for a handful of cards this time around. And I almost didn't even open my eBay store. I wanted to close it for 2 weeks like I did last year. But thank God I didn't have to do that. You guys really, really went buck wild at my eBay store. So thank you for that. But like I said, everything on the channel I buy. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not monetized. So anything that I make through my eBay store really, really helps, guys and gals, of course. And that's an example of it right there. That's to help the blood sugar and the neuropathy that I got, in my toes. That's R-alpha lipoic acid and benfotiamine, and there's a lot more to come. So, it doesn't go to waste. Anything that I buy to review, anything that I buy to review comes out of my pocket. Obviously, you guys, that was strange. It said chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. That's weird. That never happened before. Let me plug in my phone as well here. There we go. But yeah, it doesn't go to waste. It goes to taking care of my health. Technically I'm supposed to be on metformin, but with the medication, that kind of medication can really screw you up. So I take things like this. I take a lot of B vitamins, a lot of proteins, a lot of things like that. So, and it's been helping. It's good for the weight loss. Like I ordered dihydroberberine. I'm trying to think there's so many of them. Vitamin B6, B9, B12, B complex, dihydroberberine, the benfotiamine, and R-alpha lipoic acid is combined in here. I ordered L-citrulline for myself. I ordered L-arginine, L-citrulline, Tongkat, and D-aspartic acid. That's, to naturally boost your testosterone levels. I'm approaching 50 years old, so, I've got to, I'm trying to take care of myself and trying to keep myself as young as possible, I'm due for a shave too, by the way. But, so it goes to help. And then whatever was left, I paid, pardon me. I ordered for 100 more of these. So these should be here soon, Armalopes. You'll recognize these if you're customers of mine. And ink cartridges for my printer. So I got more than enough stuff. I might have to order more of these plastic sleeves for the cards that I encase the cards in, but I can do that anytime. Actually got quite a few of them still, but I might have to order some more. I'll see how that goes. I got plenty of paper. I got plenty of bubblers. I got, those mini boxes if I sell graded slabs, or if I get an order of like 10 cards or less, I got little boxes that I have. So I'm well stocked for now, which is good. And then the rest will go on groceries and whatever I need to take care of myself as far as home is concerned. So it's not going to waste, folks. You have a lot of these slarmy YouTubers that are out there that shake down their viewership. Let's see. What's this little thing going on here? So there's a little something going on in my chat here. What is this all about? Okay, so I saw Amanda's channel. Now let's see who you are. Whoa, okay. Okay. Look, guys, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time, guys. I don't mind if you guys bust balls and have fun, you know what I mean? But, I try to, I want to make this channel fun. I took down a lot of content, over the past couple months because I didn't want the channel to be riddled in politics or drama or anything like that. Sometimes I'll make I'll do live streams and then get in a certain territory I didn't really want to get into. Because I tend to wear my heart on my sleeve a lot. So sometimes, I'll talk about things that really don't jive with the channel a little bit, but it's good because you know what I got with the amount of viewership that I have now in my eBay customers. I want people to know they're not dealing with like a mindless automaton or something like that. So, a lot of people have come on here. They've had deaths in their family. They're having hard times during the holidays. Certain people are hurting out there. I've had all sorts of people come from overseas in my chat. I've had people in jail, believe it or not, participate in my live streams, which I was not expecting. That happened, I think, 2 times here on the channel. So, but anyway, yeah, like I said, folks, if you're new to the channel, again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so already, and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. Again, I don't ask people to join Patreon or pay Cash App or any of that stuff. You want to help to support me, you support my business by clicking on that link that's in the chat. It'll take you right to my eBay store. You won't catch me asking for, handouts like that. I run a legitimate business, and, my eBay store and YouTube are pretty much interconnected at this point. So. I think my next review, even though I did a live stream on it, might be to review this. Now, I live streamed me going through this box. A buddy of mine in New York sent this to me. And I already pulled out the more, I guess you want to say, prominent cards out of that in that live stream. So I might just do a quick review of what I pulled out of there, and kind of show that, not for nothing, everybody calls certain baseball cards junk wax, but when it comes to modern and ultra modern, I think a lot of people are just way too interested in the hype and get caught up in the hype, and then after that, if these mega players get hurt in their rookie season, and then you get their prospect cards, you're out all that money. And I see this all the time now. That's why I started parting. It's not because of the money that I'm so concerned about. It's because a lot of these guys that, were, up and coming rookies, they're into their 2nd and 3rd seasons now, and they really haven't been up to snuff. Like I sold an Ellie De La Cruz auto recently, which was part of that order I sent out today. And he's notorious for constantly, dropping the ball and, misfielding. I mean, he's a great base runner and a great base stealer, but it was like the Gunnar Henderson rookie red out of 5 I sold. The Orioles have been shit, even though they've got Pete Alonso now from the Mets. He's been talking a lot to the media, and the Orioles just were horrible. That's why I decided to sell those cards. I have a Paul Skeens Mojo Fractor red out of 5 from Bowman. And I have the yellow foil, which I think the print run on them, I think it was like 340 something, 350 something, I forget. So I made a choice. What do I keep? What do I sell? So I decided to part ways with the Paul Skeens, which there's 2 watchers now. I threw out an offer to both watchers. I'm looking to see what I can get out of that Paul Skeens rookie. It kind of sucks because it's a color match, but, I really want to get my father's cards graded, and I'm kind of like seeing this trend when it comes to ultra modern, that people buy into the hype, and then if these players don't perform, at least with Paul Skeens, he got a Cy Young award, which is great. Keeps his value up. And he wasn't Tommy John, which is good. And that guy, man, if he keeps going like the way he does, he's going to be like the next Nolan Ryan, or Tom Glavine or somebody like that. So that's why I've been letting go of a lot of my cards. The only recent, like the Ethan Salas card that I sold off, the 1010 Bowman Auto, gold out of 50. I saw that thing was going for like $2,500. I saw a recent sale of it for $100. For $800. Mine sold for $400. It's just a lot of these cards are not, they're just not, keeping up the snuff. So, I'm taking a look at my graded slab collection overall. I'm probably down to maybe like 7 or 8 slabs at this point. Corbin Carroll has been nominated for all sorts of awards, and I have a Red out of 5 SGC 10 of his. But I've decided to let go of a lot of stuff, and I'm probably going to start defaulting more to junk wax or vintage. I got some of my dad's baseball cards that I've reviewed on the channel here. My dad's Mickey Mantle, his Hank Aaron, his Whitey Herzog, his I forgot what other cards I got. Oh my God, I'm brain farting here. He's got quite a few. His Yogi Berra, like those cards. So I'll probably get those cards graded and just flip my collection around to more vintage and junk wax. That's what it looks like it's going to be. And some of these cards that I got from Upper Deck, like I saw Bert Blyleven, that I'm going to have to dig through my 2 Upper Deck complete sets that I got and see if I can pull this card out of there. And hopefully they're centered, because Upper Deck can be brutal. Like I got the Ken Griffey Jr. PSA 10 that I bought last year for $1,700, and it's still selling for $5,000. Still. That's nuts. The Bowman Chrome batting rookie of Shohei Ohtani's dropped. I've seen it settling down around anywhere between $23,000 to $25,000 in that ballpark. But I think one sold for $3,500. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And I was tempted to sell those 2 cards. Oh man, was I tempted to sell them. But now with this whole thing going on with PSA and everything else, and them buying up Beckett, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I really don't know. I got so many cards that I want to submit for grading. I've never submitted to PSA, but I was going to start submitting to Beckett. But now they got this antitrust thing going on now. Who knows what's going to happen? And I'm watching content creators breaking their cards out of slabs in protest. I think that's certainly a statement, but it could be foolish also, because, if you got a super valuable card in a PSA 10, why are you going to take it out of its slab? I would just leave it alone. But, when you piss off collectors long enough, and you see all of these money-making schemes going on, it becomes nothing more than greed at that point. So, I don't know. All right, Amanda, take care. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm not going to be on here for too long anyway, so. I'm also waiting for the mailman to come too, because my mother sent me something that I hope was going to come on Christmas Eve. But unfortunately, the post office was closed yesterday, so I'm hoping whatever it is comes today. And I've got an account with the post office. What do they call that? Basically, they email you every day when you have packages and envelopes coming. It keeps you updated with all that stuff. So, but otherwise, it's a beautiful, beautiful day outside. The skies are overcast, but there's no breeze. It's just like a steady cold, where it's nice enough where I can sit outside with the heater and let the heat warm up my toes. I might even pour myself a glass of wine later. It's a little early yet, but it's like a really nice day. It feels like fall right now. It feels like autumn. I can't believe it's Christmas already. This year has gone too quick. Yeah, I can't wait for 2026. I hope it all starts off better than the way this year was. I want 2026 to be like last year was, 2024. I really do. I want to see good people coming up on and off my patio and having a good time and laughing and smiling and Not all this other shit that's happened this year. You know. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Not going to get into it again. It's just a real shame because, you know, right up until the last minute, man. I mean, now things are finally beginning to calm down and subside. You know, and I think the holidays has a lot to do with that. But, you know, unfortunately, I've put two do not disturb signs up on my patio windows. Well, one's on my patio window, one's on the outside of my apartment because, you know, I can't have people keep coming up here, you know, to constantly, you know, hit me up for beer and everything else. I can't do it no more. That has to stop. And so far it has. You know, but it was kind of shitty because last Friday, you know, I was feeling really down because, you know, the reality it was starting to set in that my dad was not going to be here for Christmas. And I wasn't feeling good at all. And then two people came up here and all they cared about was getting fucking beer. Instead of being up there to give me a hug or a pat on the back, you know, give me a pat on the back or forgive me for that, folks. It's just a lot of thoughts are coming into my mind. Or, you know, sitting there talking to me and showing some support. They just cared about the fucking booze. And I've made a conscious decision that from that point on, that's enough. I had enough. I don't need that around me. If you're only here to get things from me, it's very similar to what was happening to me in New York, where people only cared about the beer and the food and never got anything in return. I mean, you shouldn't really expect anything in return, but it'd be nice once in a while to say, hey, you know, like fortunately somebody left me a case of beer up on my patio not long ago, which I thought was, you know, a nice gesture. You know, every so often, you know, my other neighbors and friends, you know, they'll throw me beer or food once in a while, which is cool. But yeah, I've had enough of all of that stuff. You know, and I don't need problems to be brought to me. You know, I got a business to run. I'm still trying to get over, you know, my father's passing and a lot of other stuff. You know, I just want peace and quiet, my friends. That's all I want. I want to run my business, make my money where I can. You know, I got very lucky for Christmas thanks to all of you. And again, there's one example of it, which is cool. But yeah, with that being said, I don't need no more nonsense. I'm pretty much done with it. So, you know, again, Christmas turned out not to be so bad after all. It really didn't. And at least I got to talk to my family. I saw my niece and nephew on my sister's side on WhatsApp, and then, you know, Google Messenger. I saw my brother. I saw photos of my nephew and niece on his side. My niece, thank God, is recovering quite well, man. That surgery that she had to correct her spine. Really, my brother was. I never seen my brother so happy. You know, to know that, you know, his daughter, my niece, is doing much better. You know, that surgery really helped correct her spine. Now she's breathing better. I mean, she's still recovering. But, you know, she went from this to this, sitting upright. In the photos I saw, she looked like she was doing pretty good. So, so it didn't turn out to be so bad after all. But, you know, I got so used to having people around me, you know, that this year was a shock. You know, what my ex-girlfriend did, what she put me through. And again, I made a promise not to talk about certain things. You know, again, there's no legal papers. Nothing could stop me from talking about certain subjects. But, you know, with an incident that happened around me, it's not fair, the treatment that I received as a result of that. And it's really made it harder for me to, like, trust people now as a result of that. You know, I have a new playlist talking about people that engage in their right to self-defense and victims, you know, of people who have their apartments robbed, have their homes robbed. They get attacked in stores and they choose to defend themselves and they end up getting arrested. Meanwhile, they're exercising their God-given civil rights. You know, and the criminals get a pat on the back, and it's like bullshit. You know? But, you know, at least with certain things, it worked itself out. but that trust is gone with me. It's that everything that's happened to me this year, my buddy Rob passing away, watching him almost doing something very stupid to himself when he was still alive, twice, getting sucker punched at Walmart for no reason. I mean, it was just people stealing money out of my bank account. That was rough. This was a rough year, man. This was a very rough year. Now that Christmas is come and gone, you know, I'm happy I got to talk to my mother and my family, especially my mother. She seems to be doing all right. They're still working on my dad's burial site, which is cool because the freaking tombstone is supposed to be like this big. It's supposed to be huge because it's essentially a family burial plot at this point. So, I mean, it's massive. The plot that my family has up in Valhalla, New York. So they're working on that. They're still working to, you know, clean the place up a little bit. So there's a lot going on still with him. But I'm glad at least finally things are starting to kind of like ease down, you know. I've kind of had enough. You know, with everybody coming through with, you know, my eBay sales and all that. That's been like one of my saving graces was to, you know, start this eBay store last year. And my dad was like, man, I'm proud of you, you know, because I don't want to go through what he went through. I don't want to struggle like that. So at least I got something to default on, you know, and keep me busy and keep me occupied. But, you know, at least with that being said, you know, at least things are slowing down a little bit, which is good. That's how it should be. That's how I hope it would be. That's how I want it. Peace and quiet. I want things to be the way they were, not this other mess. I really don't want this other mess. And now we're on the cusp of New Year's, so we'll see what happens with New Year's. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing like Christmas. But you know what? Maybe it's for the best that I have some peace and quiet. You know what I mean? What's going on, USA Cards? How you doing? Welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So, but it really looks beautiful outside. It looks so beautiful outside, folks. I don't know if you could see through my window. Let me unplug my phone here quick. I'm going to swing. I don't know if you'll be able to see outside. You know, let me turn off the LEDs. I don't even need these. Listen, you're going to... It's so beautiful outside. So what happened on Christmas? Well, honestly, nothing really happened. You know, it was a pretty good Christmas to start off with. You know, I got all the emotions out of me, you know, because of the death of my father. You know, I spent a lot of time talking to my family on WhatsApp and on Google Messenger, you know, and communicated with them. And we were talking about my father and how things are since, and talking about my dad's burial plot and sharing stories. You know, there were a lot of things that my dad confided in me that I shared with my mom yesterday, which was cool. You know, but now that Christmas is come and gone, I feel like a weight is off my shoulders now, like I'm accepting of it more. I mean, you know, it's always going to be with me, but I think I've finally started to accept the fact that, you know, this is how it is now. He's not here anymore. And the only thing any of us can do is just, you know, share memories of him. So, but otherwise, yeah, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, Christmas morning, you know, my phone started going crazy. I made a separate YouTube short about this. That my eBay customers were going ham, ordering stuff and ordering stuff and ordering stuff. I'm like, oh my God. And by the time it was said and done, it came out to about 4 figures over a 4 day span of selling stuff. And I was thinking about shutting my eBay store down for 2 weeks, like what I did last year. And fortunately, I didn't, thank God I didn't do that. So that helped. The extra money helps. And like I was talking about before, since you just came into the live stream, I ordered with some of that money that I got from those eBay sales. This just came today from Amazon. It's one of multiple orders that I made for myself as far as like the health stuff is concerned. So this is benfotiamine and our alpha lipoic acid. This is for the nerves, for nerve damage. Because of the blood sugar, unfortunately, in my toes, I still have that neuropathy, but it's gotten better since I've been keeping up taking this stuff. But I've been running low on everything. So because I made a lot of money, thank God, it's not the flex or anything like that, but, I don't spend it on garbage. I probably bought about 14 different supplements. I bought this, which is a combination supplement. I bought vitamin D3, D-aspartic acid, L-citrulline, L-arginine, vitamin B. This is the artificial B1, right? I just want to make sure. I think this is artificial B1. I always forget. So yeah, I think this is artificial B1. So I ordered for B12, B6, astaxanthin, which is a powerful antioxidant. It's actually more powerful than vitamin C. I ordered for all sorts of stuff. Dihydroberberine, which is also for high blood sugar and controls your weight, and just a whole bunch of supplements. I ordered for more Armalopes just to catch you up. I ordered for 100 more of these, and I ordered more ink cartridges for my printer, which is good, just to have them. So, and then once the rest of the money clears, I'm definitely going shopping tomorrow. There's no doubt in my mind I'm going shopping tomorrow. So, but that's because of the YouTube, the eBay store. Thank you everybody again. So just give me a second here. This doesn't seem right. I think YouTube is all screwed up here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Enhance YouTube. Yeah, I was going to say, it's showing that this live stream started like 20 minutes ago. Meanwhile, I've been talking for almost an hour already. Didn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the last update that Google had with YouTube. All my add-ons got deleted, which I now have back on again. But yeah, but just to round it off, I know I've been pretty lousy and miserable, and some of the content hasn't been exactly the happiest as far as like the live streams and the personal stuff are concerned, but it actually was not that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and of course, keeping in contact with the family, really helped out. So, but yeah, I've been okay, I guess. Once I'm done live streaming here, I'm going to have some lunch, probably watch some boob tube. At this point, the eBay store is running itself. I want to list more cards, but I'm going to get hit with that 35-cent fee per listing. But I think I have enough stuff up there to kind of hopefully get people to buy stuff still. But I've already got like 200 and something cards lined up for 2026 for January, so that's already taken care of. I just got to wait until the clock starts over again, and then 250 more listings will go up in January. And I know my ravenous customer base, will probably dig in. You know what I mean? Which is always good. But thank you, everybody. And I mean that in the most sincerest way. So anyway, folks, I'm going to flip this camera around, and then I'm going to say my goodbyes, because there's really not much more to talk about, and I feel like I'm kind of forcing it, and I don't want to waste your time. But like I said, Christmas really didn't turn out as bad as it could have been. I really have to thank my family with this. I bought my nephew a couple Transformers for Christmas, and we were playing with them last night, and I got hit with a nostalgia bug big time. I am 50, so I was there for the transfer. Yeah, see, I'm 48 years old, going on 49, so I'm an 80s kid too. Just ordered a couple of leader figures from Big Bad Toy Store. Just keep an eye on what it is you're ordering, because they're coming out with all new stuff in 2026, like the Seekers, for example, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. They just came out with a Studio Series 86 Thundercracker that blows those three Seekers out of the water, that came out for the War for Cybertron. And Hasbro has a tendency of doing this, where they're constantly reissuing the same molds over and over and over again. And the fan base, in a lot of ways, demands that these Voyager class or Leader class figures be cartoon accurate. I mean, Jesus, the Studio Series Optimus Prime here that I've got over on my TV stand, I talk about him all the time. I mean, but then again, I upgraded him with upgrade kits. I mean, Hasbro should be doing this anyway, but look at how cartoon accurate that is. And the fans have been, demanding that more and more, that a lot of these toys, if they're going to be charging $30, $40, $50, $60, $70 for these toys, then make them as accurate as possible, even though they may be complex in their transformations. But that's what the fans want. They want cartoon accuracy. I mean, you look at the He-Man figures I've reviewed here on the channel, the cartoon collection. Look how accurate those things look, for God's sakes. Man, they look like they hopped right off the page, like when I did the Trap Jaw recently. I did that review. But yes, Scourge, I'm just looking at my collection right now. Scourge looks great. Waspinator looks great. The upgrades that I did to the Insecticons, they look fantastic. USA Cards says, I just got a Studio Series Prime from Series 8632 in a Silver Bolt. They are Commander class, not leaders. Okay. Yeah, what's nice these days is that there are all sorts of options for your average Transformers fan. I mean, there are probably dozens of options you can choose from. I mean, I've reviewed a couple Optimus Primes here on the channel, from Missing Link C01, C02, which I have both. I have the New Year Convoy from 2002. That's from many, many years ago. I have that up on my shelf. I have the Walmart exclusive Optimus Prime that's color correct. That's actually a really nice Prime. I have the War for Cybertron Earthrise Optimus. Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. See, here's an example of that. Like, I bought Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, but they got the color incorrect on him, I should say, excuse me, where he looks like Rodimus Prime in red, where it should have been lavender or fuchsia or pink. So now they're coming out with a pink one, because the fans have been demanding it. So you got to watch out for that sort of thing. Here, like, they came out with War for Cybertron Bumblebee, the Netflix version, which I have, which was a parts former, kind of. And then they came out with Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, which doesn't look quite like his well, he kind of looks like his cartoon model, but it's not quite accurate either. So USA Cards asks, where do you buy the add-ons? TF Source, Hobby Link Japan, I think, has them. You can find a lot of them on eBay. I think they're called TF Lab or Toy Lab, I think, has them. eBay's a good resource, also Etsy, but I would suggest you stick to eBay, because at least with eBay, if you have any problems, you can always, go through their protection system. Because unfortunately, I ordered a brand new upgrade kit for the Transformers Devastation Optimus Prime, which I'll grab right now. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'll be right back. So here's here's my upgraded Studio Series Devastation Optimus Prime that I reviewed on the channel. And it took 3 upgrade kits to get this guy complete. So, you know, you have the gap fillers in the thighs, and sometimes it pays to wait. Even with Transformers, they may sell out in the initial run, but sometimes you can actually get them, you know, in future releases, or just bide your time and wait. But this guy needed some serious upgrading. You know, there are gap fillers on the back of him, right there, and in his ass. These are brand new forearms and brand new fuel tanks. And he's got a brand new trailer hitch that I added on right there. His ion cannon is 3D printed. This is actually more accurate than anything he's had for this figure. Very G1 accurate. What else was upgraded on here? Oh, the inside of his thighs. These are brand new upgrades. I actually cracked this one a little bit. It has a stress fracture on it. As you can see, the old upgrade kit right there, the gap fillers, that's from the old kit. And here's the new kit that I had to pry out those gap fillers from here, and then forced the new thigh fillers in there and actually cracked this one a little bit. But you really don't notice it. You have to be really looking for it to see it. But when you transform him now, it looks a lot better. Let me see if I can remember how to do this guy now. There was a little trick to him. I almost broke this. Okay, so like you have to be very specific with his transformation, and you have to do it in this order. So you have to, very first and foremost with this upgrade kit, slide that panel back, and that enables his fists to fold inward, which it did in original. Well, it did do that originally, but you'll see why that matters. And then you take his butt cheek tires, fold them down, and you grab his head, spin it around, and actually that's a gap filler on there as well, right here. That's part of the upgrade kits. So then you spin that around. Then, actually I want to turn this head backwards. Okay. Now you have to, if I remember correctly, you have to fold out his midsection, like so. Pull forward the grill, and that will enable you to take Prime let's see, I'm missing a step, aren't I? What am I missing? I'm missing a step. I'm going too fast even for myself. Oh, okay, hold on now, I'm sorry. You have to fold these all the way back first. That's the step I was missing. So you have to fold these back here. Then you take his arms. And then you go old school and transform. Now, this is a little tough because this upgrade kit is not exactly perfect, but you kind of have to just take your time and line everything up, as you don't want to break it. Just give me 1 second here, folks. I apologize. Let's see. Just don't want to break them. Forgot how to do this. It's supposed to go straight in. Okay, there's that. Come on, you. What am I missing? Oh, I'm forgetting something. That's right. There's another panel on his forearm. I almost forgot. There's a panel on his forearm that folds out. That's the step I'm forgetting. And this is part of the latest upgrade kit. So not only do you have to slide out this panel on his forearm, you also have to fold out this panel on the inside of his forearm. And those are parts that were omitted. And that acts as the the steps for his truck mode. So now with that out of the way, it should be old school from that point on. So again, I don't want to force it or anything. And now we got Prime in his Gerwalk mode, as we all say in the fandom. That's his Gerwalk mode right there. Then you, if I remember correctly, you take his wheels, you fold them like so, fold them out, boom. Boom, like so. You get his brand new trailer hitch folded out, which you see right there. And then basically marry his legs together. And then you collapse his feet like so, which also these have gap fillers on the bottom of his feet. All right. And then you collapse them like so. That new trailer hitch looks awesome. That's better than the old one. And here's the biggest improvement of them all. So we're going to collapse Prime into truck mode by folding his legs into the cab. Now this can get a little tricky because sometimes the plastic wants to spring out. And you just want to take your time because you don't want to break the tabs or anything. So once they get in there, there are two pegs that are behind his cab right there. You got to watch out for, so you don't want to force it. What's going on, Ziggy? How you doing? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And then you take his legs and then you marry the two of them together. Just like so. And now here's the best thing about this particular upgrade kit is that unlike the original mold, his fuel tanks actually spin on a pivot and then fold around inside like that. Actually it's more cartoon, well, not cartoon accurate, game accurate, because this is from Transformers Devastation, the video game. So, and then when all is said and done, I mean, it looks very panel-y, but at the same time, there you go. That's the Transformers Devastation upgraded Optimus Prime. The only thing I wish they did is if they had a separate thing for the back of his head, but once you turn his head around, you don't even see it. Yeah, guys, do me a favor if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps to support the channel. Thank you very much for even participating in this live stream. So that's that as far as Transformers Devastation Prime is concerned. And then we have this guy here, which I've already reviewed on the channel. I forgot what Optimus Prime they called this one, but it's basically the same thing. I've already added upgrade kits to him as well, which are kind of okay, but I'll transform him for the hell of it. So I forgot what they called. Oh, Legacy Optimus Prime. That's what they called him. Legacy Optimus Prime. So basically, he's very old school in this transformation. Now, I wish they added this panel on some of the OG reissues. Take his head, fold it in, collapse that. And this is basically the same transformation as the OG. Again, you put him in Gerwalk mode. Whoops. That's a click you don't want to hear. Did I break it? No. Okay. All right, that's a sound you never want to hear on a transformer when you hear crunch. All right, so I'm forgetting something. Oh, you have to take his, I forgot, you have to take his fists. Take his fists. Am I forgetting something here? Yes, I am. What am I forgetting? Oh, this is a very tight joint. Just be careful. This joint is tight. So you have to take his forearm, fold it down, and then spin this around here. you can see where this is like this weird hinge, and then you collapse it back in on itself, and this is what you should see. So I'll do that again with this guy. Let me just pull his arm out. So you have to take it and just be careful, because like I said, that's a very sensitive hinge. Take it, spin it, collapse it, and there you go. And then again, we go into Optimus Prime Gerwalk mode. Oh, that's what that crack was. It was that Rube Goldberg upgrade that I did on the back of his arm. That snapped because the arm kept popping out of its socket. And I put a piece of plastic back there on the mushroom, and you can see the crack right there. So these things happen, folks. But you're not going to notice that if it's up on a shelf. I mean, I'm not here playing with Transformers anyway. This is more for you guys. And then, again, Gerwalk mode. And then basically it's the same as the OG Optimus Prime. You fold his feet up. Marry his legs together. And again, you got to watch, because his legs are very sensitive too. You got to watch how you move these things, because you will break it if you're not careful. So, and right now he just wants to be all different kinds of stubborn. Okay, there's one. There's two. And his legs should just readily collapse on their own. But mine just wants to fight me for whatever reason, of course. See, this is why when I do transformations on the channel, I don't do the transformations, because it takes forever. But there you go. There's the Legacy Optimus Prime. If I could just snap his legs together there. There we go. So, you know, he's still a little fiddly yet. But there you go. Legacy Optimus Prime transformed into his cab mode. And if you want to get nostalgic really quick, you know what, I'll pull the Walmart Prime, and I'll pull CO2. No, anytime USA, not a problem. I like this stuff. So here is the Walmart exclusive Optimus Prime. This is the 40th anniversary version that I reviewed here on the channel. And this is as old school as it gets. The transformation's the same. Now, before I do that, I want to make sure I know who's what. Well, actually, all right, the weapons are different. I just want to make sure that the weapons I can identify for each robot. So he's pretty much the same as the old school Optimus Prime, except they painted in his toes, his legs. They added white and gray to the grill. But otherwise, this is more or less a G1 Prime. And it's very simple. So fold his arms up, just like the old school. Pull his fists out. Flip his head backwards like so. And then close the cab. Again, Gerwalk mode. Oops. So there he is as a Robotech Gerwalk. All right, and just like with the old school, put his legs backwards, fold up his toes, and boom, G1 Optimus Prime in the cartoon colors. Even though technically you didn't see any gray on his cab going around this way, I mean, they did the best what they could with this mold. And then we have the Missing Link Optimus Prime, which is like the king of Optimus Primes at this point. Arguably one of the best G1 Primes you can ever get. And this is CO2, Missing Link CO2 Prime. And I got the CO1 version up there. So this one also was supposed to be more cartoon accurate. But the only thing they really did is they made his eyes blue. They didn't paint in the details on his forearms, whereas normally on the original G1, they had stickers here. And they had a lot of stickers on him. But they basically stripped down his colors. What's nice about him is he's got articulation up the wazoo. Like he can do all that kind of stuff. He can move his arms up. You know, he kind of looks like a gorilla, you know, in a way. But he's got front kick, back kick, knee bend, toe tilt, all that kind of stuff. This is by far one of the best Optimus Primes you can get. Not just this one, but his counterpart, the CO1. As a matter of fact, you know, just for context, let me grab CO1. I didn't think I was going to be talking about Transformers, but what the hell, right? So here's what they call the toy accurate CO1 Missing Link Optimus Prime. Exactly the same, except he's got the 1980s accurate details molded and painted into his frame. He does, I think both of them came with sticker sheets, but obviously it's superfluous. You really don't need them, you know, because he's already detailed. So, but same thing, has the arm articulation up and down, wrist swivel, hands open and closed, which is awesome. Again, front kick, back kick. He can tilt at the hip. Got knee bend. Look at a knee bend on this thing, which is cool. So, like, you know, if you wanted to recreate that scene in Transformers the movie, you know, where he's firing at Decepticons. I don't know if I can get that on camera quite well, but Megatron, that's enough. Decepticons, leave Earth. Jeez. But yeah, so that's Missing Link Prime. And what's cool about this guy, and this is where it gets scary, is he can actually tilt like this. He can look down. So you'll see a lot of reviewers. I've even talked about it myself, where that's a little scary because you have to grab him a certain way to get him to get that bend, because you don't want to break him. You kind of want to like muscle him a little bit, but that kind of sucks because now you're getting your fingers all over the chrome. But he does come with the Matrix of Leadership. Both of them come with matrices. So let's transform CO2. Why not? So now he looks like a mindless gorilla. Ha ha ha, Beast Wars reference to Optimus Primal, which I happen to have. But I got the War for Cybertron one, not the original one that came out in the 90s. I still want to get that damn thing. I used to have it years ago. But anyway, take his hands. You can fold them in so you don't need to detach his fists like on the OG. So fold in his fist again. You want to make sure his fists are closed. Take his head, just like the OG, spin it around. Then again, fold up his arms, just like so. Collapse his arms into his back. Fold down his wheels, and then you kind of have to work with this a little bit so that you don't break them. I still have trouble with this because he's so stiff. There you go. So you kind of want to get the fists in first and then fold in his arm. It's tricky to do. So you're doing two steps in one. So you kind of want to make it easy on yourself. You kind of want to start his fist in this position and then slowly work the both of them in at the same time, and then you can collapse it real easy. So there you have it. And then just like on any other Optimus Prime, you fold his legs back and then boom. You got yourself your old school Optimus Prime trailer, but you also want to marry his legs together with those posts. And you also want to make sure that his feet are straight so that this way they're lined up. And that's it. And of course, by extension, you know, CO1 transforms the exact same way. So there's no point in getting into it. But yeah, Missing Link Prime, I think, was the prime to get, at least, you know, at this point in time. And I had two of them, two of each. But, you know, again, I took a look at it and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should sell off my closed copies because I really don't mess with these unless I'm doing demos on camera like this. But it doesn't pay to have doubles and triples of things. And man, the resale on them things are insane now. Lucky I got mine when I did. It's just like baseball cards. You know, you're trying to get yourself a box of, you know, I'm still salty about that from last year when I was trying to get Topps Chrome Sapphire, and I had 2 boxes paid for, and then they reversed the money. Fanatics. because the bots bought up all the fucking boxes, and I wasn't able to get mine, which was awful. But whatever. So, but that's it. Those are, and to Transform Studio Series Optimus Prime, I'm not even going to start with that because I'll be here for an hour trying to remember how to transform him. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I got Earthrise Optimus Prime up there. I got, whatchamacallit? New Year Convoy from 2002. He's up there. I also got a bootleg of Transformers Prime Optimus. Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. I'm an idiot. But there you have it. That's all the primes I got. They're a lot of fun. They really are. And what's cool is that they're generational. But the problem is, unfortunately, with Hasbro's manufacturing, sometimes it's best to get the Takara versions because the colors are nicer. There's a little bit more detail to the Japanese versions, but unfortunately, like what I suffered with recently, buying a Bayern Munich jersey from Germany, unfortunately, you have to deal with the tariffs, with Orange Man's tariffs. I'm not going to get into politics or anything. I'm just saying that's a reality you have to deal with. So I'm trying to remember how to transform this guy back. Okay. It goes like that. That goes like that. This folds backwards. And this slides in. I got it right. Anybody want to see a grown man like an idiot playing with toys? To me, they're like fidget spinners. But they're a lot of fun, man. They really are. No, but like I said, I do this for you, the people. Like, what YouTuber does that? Oh, that's what's his face? The Wolf Pit, who reviews like Dollar General food. Yeah, the Wolf Pit says that. I do it for you, the people, so you don't have to. Because you, the people. He's funny. He got divorced recently too, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken. So let me get these guys back into their robot modes. Now I got to remember. Okay. Oh, this guy, this is so, he's so scary, this Legacy Optimus Prime, because of that joint right there. You turn that thing the wrong way, boop, there'll be a piece of plastic flying in the air. Please don't break. Oh, this one scares me out of all of them. You know, and I got them fat construction worker fingers like my dad. Okay. Right, he didn't break, so that's good. That's always good. Come on, get out. Come on, you have to get out. Flip out here. Uh-oh. We have a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Optimus Prime's head don't want to come out. Oh, I hate it when things like this happen. This is the one bad thing about Transformers to this day as an adult that gets like a little irritating, is when things get stuck. Okay, there we go. Ugh, don't want to break that. All right. Nice. Let's get it onto a tray. Nice. Okay. There's that Steve MRE. So he's got two guns, right? Yeah, he's the one with two guns. So this gun goes here. And this gun goes on his backpack. And his backpack is misaligned. Yeah, the Legacy Prime is just a strange anomaly as well. Like they call this the budget missing link, by the way. And rightfully so, because that's what it is. But that's kind of good for people that don't have a lot of money, you know, especially if you got kids and, you know, your family's on a budget. It's nice that Hasbro actually did a thing like that. So you really can't knock them too much. And then finally we have Walmart Prime. It's always fun because like in the back of my mind, I can hear him in a cartoon saying, Autobots, transform and roll out. Autobots, transform. I can't do Optimus Prime for the life of me. Sorry if I'm dropping the ball on that, but I'm having fun. Who gives a damn? So there it is. There's Optimus Prime. Now, this Optimus Prime, the Walmart Optimus Prime, unfortunately, he is clickety-clackety, even though he doesn't have the same articulation as the Missing Link Primes do. But it's just when you fold him back to front, this is like the worst part, how loosey-goosey this is. So you got to keep an eye on that. But there you go. That's my lesson with Optimus Primes. And I'm not even going to get started with Studio Series, because I'll be here for an hour probably grumbling and swearing all sorts of indecencies. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I'm getting hungry. Guys, again, thank you if you're eBay customers of mine, my fellow hobbyists. Excuse me, whether you collect jerseys, hats, sneakers, sports cards, Transformers, G.I. Joes, whatever you fancy, thank you for supporting a fellow content creator and collector and hobbyist. And my eBay customers, friends, family, all of you. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you very much. And I will be seeing you soon. Have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. And most likely, I'm almost positive this may be the next review I do. Even though I already did a live stream pulling these cards out, I'll do like a 10 or 15 minute video about the pulls that came out of there. So, but thank you, everybody. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. I will see you all very soon. I need to eat.